Hey everyone, it's Types, and today I'm playing some more theme deck format. Super excited, I haven't played this in quite a while, but I'm going to be using the Zacian theme deck. In my opinion, one of the more fun theme decks, but also not one of the strongest. Pretty much you use Zacian here, and then you can also use Unpheasant, which is super strong. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that, but yeah, it's a really interesting deck. It's pretty inconsistent. But as I said, it's very fun to use. Also, of course, it's not very good against fire type decks, but it does have a few options as well. It's just a fun deck. Also, let's see if I can see any matchups. That's a bit of concern as well, because of course PTGO is presumably coming to a close. We see we're up against Towering Heights though, so this is a super good matchup with Unfazant, with its resistance to fighting. So you got a lot of really interesting routes here as well. You can also use Holucha, which is pretty solid. And we start P-Dove. That is super good here for us because we can use Chirp to set up. We have Hop in hand. This hand will be certainly good enough. We have Pokemon Catcher. Well, okay, our prizes could be really bad. We could get like messed up in the early game, but I think we're fine here. We also see an attachment to the active, which is very fair. We draw into Tranquil as well. Pretty cool. Oh, Great Ball. We see another P-Dove. So I like that. I'm just going to drop both of these and go for that Chirp. So we're going to grab out Tranquil and whatever this one is called, the Stage 2, which I've said I'm going to not pronounce it from now on. But Daunt allows you to take 50 less damage. Of course, with resistance, you're taking 80 less damage, which is just insane. So we're going to try to set up our board state as best as we can. Even Tranquil itself isn't a bad attacker. Attacker 60 for 3 isn't horrible. We can use Razor Wing. We have these different options, and this deck is just going to be super good here, I think. I'm going to see them go into Groudon, so that's interesting. They're going to threaten like a big attack here on next turn, which is okay. They only accelerated one energy though. That may mean that they only have one. Of course, it could mean any number of things as well here, but we're definitely going to evolve the bench. I could just attach to the bench, and then we're going to start walling with this one. Yeah, I don't hate that route. And then, or we could evolve the active. Evolving the active is probably alright here. But we could just die as well. So I'll attach here. Yeah, I'm just going to Chirp, I decided. I think that's an alright play here. We can also grab a Holucha, which isn't bad, as I said. And hopefully they don't Chaos. If they do, though, we can start, as I said, walling with Daunt, which is pretty solid. Of course, there is possibly a reason for us to play Zacian there as well. Let's see, they have House. They are going to probably be able to take the KO here. I'm not overly worried about that. We see Throw, though. That's scary. This is just a very solid attacker here. And I believe we have another P-Dove that's prized. I don't know the exact counts in this list, but I've got to assume we play another one of that. So, yeah, we do have the Unpheasant. We have Holucha and Zacian. I'll bench those. We can, of course, go for that Daunt here. Very powerful. And yeah, just do some damage. We can Air Slash next turn, but of course Daunt is just so strong here, reducing the amount of damage we take by a ton. Hopefully they don't switch here. Looks like they're going to try to set up for a Garchomp play as well. So that's, again, scary. Another Throw, so hopefully no retreat or switch. If they do that, we need to be careful of, as I said, that Throw play. Although Garchomp is doing just as much damage with a bit more commitment, but also a theoretically higher damage threshold output by them. They haven't attached any energy just yet, though, so we'll see what they're going to go for. Tate and Eliza, okay, they don't go for the switching effect, so I'm happy about that. They don't have any good attackers here either. They could theoretically get up a Palpitoad, which would be okay. Or yeah, Palpitoad. No, they're just going to go for the draw energy on the Throw. Also burning their draw energy. That's something to keep in mind, that they don't have access to that. But that'll mostly just change their plan, not ours. Okay, so they are going to go retreat here. I'm going to go for Hop, I think. And I'm just going to try to set up my board state, hide behind this Unpheasant for as long as possible. We see a Great Ball, so that's fine. Probably Zacian because it just does. It's a better attacker, right? We're not going to take the KO just yet. Even if they set up, we're probably okay as long as we can like maintain a reasonable prize trade. That's kind of my thought process here. Actually, no, I'm going to go Pokemon Catcher. See if I can target down their Throw. We can. Okay, that's very strong, allowing us to take a prize and also put them in a bit of an awkward position here. Of course, we're going to be losing 1 energy, but it's not a big deal. We still have enough energy to use Dawn, which is really the main attack you want to be using here. Obviously, against fighting decks, it's amazing. Against other decks, it's pretty solid as well. Comparing Zacian to Zamazenta, the theme decks, they're similar in the fact that both their stage 2s are very defensive, but Unpheasant is very much like a more tempo-based attacker, hits for pretty consistent damage, can push a little farther if it wants, versus Corviknight is really all in or just pretty weak at other times. So that's why I prefer Unpheasant. I'm not actually sure about that. Corviknight is just so strong when it gets going, but it's pretty awkward to get going. You do need to possibly use stuff like Duraludon, and of course those Metal Saucers to power it up, so it's kind of awkward. And you can't keep going forever. Versus Unpheasant, you can just pretty much do this forever until they KO you, which they will at some point. We see them get up a Mew, so it looks like they're going to try to counterattack. So we're gonna play passively, right? We're gonna go for another Daunt. We're not gonna go for an Air Slash because then they're just gonna KO us. And then eventually we should be able to win. Let's see how much. So right now we essentially have an 80 HP. If we Daunt and then so Garchomp can hit 200, but we will essentially have enough HP to survive a hit from Garchomp doing its max damage with Unpheasant here. If we get the KO with Daunt. So we'll do this. Glaring Meowth, the Glaring Berserker is just kind of bad. So that's really unfortunate that it just plays a card in here that's really underwhelming. But I think we just kind of have to deal with it for now. Also, Mew's kind of problematic because it doesn't, it ignores resistance. Same thing with Tympole does ignore resistance as well. But that's not a huge deal. But Mew just will essentially hit through our effects completely. They're going to go for Spike Draw, which kind of makes sense. So they can set up, but they really aren't advancing their board state either. So that's certainly fine for us. And they're, of course, not doing any damage either. So you see that we were applying a ton of pressure here. And because the throw's not as scary, we're not as scared. So this is like my favorite part of Theme, probably the fact that the resistances and weaknesses can get really interesting. They can also get really unpleasant if we are against, say, like a fire deck. We'd have almost no chance. But yeah, they are going to go in for the Mew play here, meaning that a Garchomp will be able to one-shot us, well, two-shot us after the Mew. And yeah, of course, they're going to go straight into the active there. This is a bit of a weird spot. We could go for another Daunt play. I'm thinking Zacian could be all right here to take out the Mew. Of course, then they're just going to go in with their Garchomp. So we need to be very careful of that. But I think that's an okay play here. Grabbing the KO with Zacian. Of course, very much all in. But I think this should end up working out fine for us. We're up on the prize trade. But then, of course, the damage on the Unpheasant, I believe, will allow us to be able to get KO'd. Yeah, we will be just within range. And we didn't hit the other P-Dove, which I believe we play. If we don't play, again, I'm making a fool out of myself, as I do. But you see them setting up other stuff. But are they going to go for a Drought? It looks like they are. So we don't really want to go for Daunt. We could go for Energy Stream. It's kind of awkward here. They're going to play another Groudon as well. So they're not going to set up another, like a Seismitoad here. Seismitoad could theoretically be very good for a number of reasons. They're going to switch, though. Okay, maybe they're just burning resources, which there's theoretically a spot for. I don't think it's great, but if they're going to like Lily here, no, they're just going to go for the KO. Okay, it's certainly scary, right? But I think we're okay here. I think we're okay. We can go for the Daunt play, and then we can go for some other plays after that. You see Nose Pass, which evolves into Probopass as well. Which is certainly an all-right attacker. I don't hate it. I'll drop a Galarian. Should I drop a Galarian? Probably not. I'll just play this Zacian. We really don't want to research this hand, of course, but we might have to if we're not able to see the pieces that we need. I believe we should survive this because Garchomp's ability says that they do more damage if they're behind on prize cards, but of course we're even in prizes right now. So Garchomp's not providing as much of a threat. It's still doing 120, which will be reduced down to only 40, but they're going to go for a Palpitoad play. Okay, so that's obviously... They're not doing... Wait, no, does that do... No, that doesn't do any damage. No, that does 30. I don't know what it is. Thinking. Oh, no, it's the defending Pokemon, yeah. So, they did give us a prize, though. Wow, that's really surprising. Let's see. So we have 90 HP left. If they switch into Garchomp, they can grab the KO. As I said, this research would be super horrible. But I really don't want to just sit and not do anything. Air Slash won't feel great. But losing the attachment just so bad. I'll I guess I'll just Daunt again. See, the deck's like doesn't have a lot of power, so that's kind of sketchy. It does have this defensive option, which is very strong. But the question is, do they have Switch? And they're down one already, and a Tate and Eliza. I don't remember how many Tate and Elizas this deck plays, if they play one or two, but I know they play two Switch. Well, I think they play two Switch. They probably don't have a really great way of accessing it. It's not impossible. They're going to attach another. No, they are going to go for the retreat play. Okay, so we're obviously not very happy about that. And we might need to research after this anyway, which is super sketchy. Of course, we're looking to set up another Unfazon, but I don't know. I don't feel very confident now anymore, of course. So, yeah, maybe we had to research there, but obviously we would have lost to Unfazon anyways. Got another KO. That probably was the right play. Of course, Probopass is just atrocious here. Doing nothing pretty much because it does 10 damage. But they're going to Overslice, grab the KO. Yeah, that's just not good for us. We are even on prizes after they KO'd their own, I think, a Mew. I don't remember what they KO'd, but I guess I'll send up Probopass as a stalling option. I think we have another switch in deck as well. We see Sonia. That's kind of late, though. We can grab some energies, which is all right. But we need an attacker here. So we have the Saucer still in deck, which are, of course, going to be very important. We have another Holucha. We could stall with that, set up a Zacian. We could even stall with the Probopass, which feels all right. So I think that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to set up the Zacian here, grab a KO on something. We should be able to KO any of their Pokemon. And now they have the Seismitoad as well, so they're in a very powerful position, but they can't do any bench snipe, so I guess I'll put the Glameowth. I don't really think it matters at all, but I'll bench it and pass the turn here. And then we're looking for just anything because we really don't have much here. If we go behind on prizes, we're pretty much guaranteed to lose because it's just so close to the end of the game. They're going to go for a Lady, so that's not the most powerful play in the world. Right now, they don't need anything amazing. They just need to keep up consistency. And as I said, they can't grab the KO on the Probopass. They will one-shot a Zacian. They're going to one-shot pretty much everything that's not Probopass here. So, let's see. We see another energy, though. That's very important. We could research, but of course that's bad. Right, so we're going to go for Zacian. We're going to lose the Probopass, KO the Garchomp, and hope that we can just miraculously pull this out. So, I don't feel overly confident about this, but it's certainly possible. You see another energy hitting that Bite, so looking to set up another Garchomp. We need just, I don't know, maybe I should have researched. It feels so bad. We got unlucky with the prizes as well, of course. Prizing a P-Dove, so, and we got one knocked out early as well, which there wasn't too much we could do about that. But yeah, I was going towards the Unpheasant the whole game, because that, if we almost carried it the whole game with one Unpheasant, which is pretty insane. If we had two, we would have won. Now, of course, now we can grab the KO here, but they're only 2 prizes away from victory, so that's pretty questionable. See another Sonia. We can grab, I guess, a couple of nose passes. We don't have the other Probopass in deck, though, so it could be, is it? I don't know. I think it's prize, so we could theoretically stall with that, but that means that we didn't hit the P-Dove, in which case we lose, so... Yeah, let's see. Are there any really reasonable routes here? Anything we could do that's just very strong? I'll grab a Nose Pass. We have a Glameowth in hand as well. I think the Galarian Berserker could actually win us the game, which is just absurd. But they're going to go for Nose Pass. Drop that into play. Oh, do we have to push for that absurd? Like, if we get super lucky with the Galarian Berserkers, maybe we could win. You know, okay, I'm doing it. Next turn, right? Smashing Edge here. Please. Please give us something like that we need off the prizes. Oh, and lose the energies. I don't think it'll matter, but we do lose them. Pokemon Catcher. Oh, that's interesting. So we might be able to stall that Seismitoad, which could be good. Probably not. We probably can't stall it, but that might be what we have to go for. I hope that they somehow messed up, which is possible. I definitely see that happen. I've definitely myself messed up with Towering Heights as well because it's a bit of a weird deck to play. It's very difficult, but sometimes it's very difficult. There are small mistakes you can make that can cost you the game. Obviously, I've made some big mistakes in this game, and I don't know if this game was this game. I mean, it still is winnable, right? So. Yeah, we're going to send up. It doesn't really matter what we send up here, to be honest. I'll send that up, though. We need, like, both our saucers and our switch. So we're going to Pokemon Catcher first, though. We flip tails on that. Yeah, we're going to get rid of, like, everything. So hopefully we get super lucky here. If not, we lose. And it looks like we did not get there. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and concede. We did not win that game there. We were close. Zacian is often considered one of the weaker decks in themed as well. Probably the weakest of the Sword and Shield era decks. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Inteleon's probably worse. It's not like Zacian or Inteleon are completely unviable. It's kind of interesting how the really good Pokemon Standard are like the really garbage ones in themed. They balance it out quite nicely with that, but yeah, it's kind of. I think it's between those two. All the other ones are pretty viable. But people would probably say Inteleon's better than Zacian as well. I'm not sure if I'd agree with that. I'd probably say Zacian's better than Inteleon, but Zacian sees almost no play. Okay. Yep, and we played against Charizard. This can't go well, like, at all. Towering Heights is a winnable matchup if we set up well. In fact, a favorable matchup if we set up well. Zacian versus Charizard, it's like really bad for Zacian. We did start the P-Dove again. That's good. Of course, this is like the same hand we had last game. And we just stalled out. I was like, this hand will be fine. And it wasn't fine at all. We could get donked. Well, could we get donked? We can't really get donked here. But we could get donked after we use Chirp. Hopefully, we didn't prize any of our Pokemon here. And then we see Farfetch, with the Sonia. So that's good. Allowing us to be in a pretty solid position. We probably go for the hop play first. We could get donked, as I said, but not. Okay, no, we can't get donked anymore. So that's good. I'm trying to think if there's any weird way. The idea is kind of that they can Rapidash turn 2 and donk us, but they're not doing that, so that's good. Or they're not at least doing the big damage with Rapidash, which is good. We can Chirp now. That won't get messed up. We see Dan hop, Sonia hop. It's probably the best play here. Nose pass, not great. Could be worse, though. Certainly could be worse. I guess I'll stack energy on this P-Dove, and then, of course, we're going to Chirp for Tranquil on Pheasant. Allowing us to go in with a Gust, which isn't even that good. So things could still go very badly for us. They've gotten a decent setup, but ours isn't the worst either. And then we could also go for Dan. I need to set up my oh, no. Nah, this isn't good. Okay, so they're setting up the dreaded Rapidash with the Timer Ball. Don't get lucky here. Please don't get lucky. Okay, that's doable. They go for the Nidoqueen. Hopefully that doesn't mean they have the Nidorina. Nidorina. They very well might. They might just have drawn like the nuts just one turn later, which is obviously really bad for us. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Charizard / Relentless Flame. The deck I'm playing against is often regarded as the best deck. I mean, Soaring Storm is the best deck. I think it's hard to argue anything but that. But you know, like Relentless Flame is certainly up there, probably regarded as number 2. I'd say Soaring Storm, Unseen Depths, and Relentless Flame are the 3 best decks. I have a video on that. Check it out if you haven't seen it, although I imagine many of you have. I think it's my most viewed video. Okay, we see them go for the Tool Buster. Interesting. So they are realizing that this is a very big threat. So there are a few things we can do, but probably the most logical one is just to like sacrifice something. So I'm gonna grab P-Dove. We could grab another P-Dove. But that's kind of silly. We don't have any Pokemon recovery in this deck. I'm going to grab a P-Dove and a Hawlucha, which is going to die. So sorry, Hawlucha. This isn't going to end well for you. However, we could have grabbed 2 P-Doves, I guess. But yeah, no, I'm gonna unfortunately have to sacrifice this Holucha. Yeah, that's not great, but we should be able to make it out with something a bit better. Switching to the Holucha, which will die. Not necessarily this turn though. They won't. They probably won't be able to punish it and grab the KO just yet. So that's kind of what we're relying on, and then we're gonna pass. Keep in mind, Probopass is a very solid, efficient attacker, but it does more for each energy in the retreat cost, so it is okay. Yeah, they definitely have. So they have the Nidoqueen, they have the Rapidash, they have a Charmander, so they pretty much won. They haven't guaranteed win. They could have really bad prizes, but they do have a Rapidash up, and they do have the Nidoqueen. They're gonna go for the Rapidash, so they're not gonna choose to collect another turn, which I kind of get. As I said, they're not gonna grab the KO with this. They're gonna go for agility, and of course, try to flip heads. They don't, but it doesn't really matter that turn too much. Actually, this gives us an interesting situation. I'm probably gonna, do I hop here or Dan? It doesn't really matter. I'll Dan. They're gonna go for. I'll say they're going for rock. So I'll go paper. Let's see if we win this. Please tell me we win this. They are thinking about it long and hard. Yeah. Or they went AFK. That's also very possible. They no. Okay. We failed. Okay. That's unfortunate. I mean, we can't go for the unpheasant play. We can't grab the KO with that. We probably drop down this other Holucha, and then we're just gonna I think we Windfall. Our hand's not bad though. I guess I'll just go for energy on Probopass isn't horrible. Energy on P-Dove isn't bad either. I'll just put the energy on Probopass, giving us some options. They're going to go up in the prize trade and probably just win this game. So that's not great. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Also, why does it look like their discard pile is like bigger than their deck? That's kind of weird. I rag on live all the time because it's bad, but PCGO is not good either. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna. If they grab out a Charizard, I'm probably gonna scoop here. Actually no, I'm gonna scoop now. I'm gonna save myself from embarrassing myself anymore if I can ever speak any words. Because you kind of all knew where that was going. We were just gonna lose. So let's see if this other game can go any better. Hopefully it can, but you never know. As I said, there's a lot of fire. Yeah, okay. I don't think this is the same person, but it's the same deck. So again, this isn't good. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna call this video. I might call it Zacian is actually bad with like a picture of Zacian V or something. Who knows? We start Holucha. That's fine. We can use Windfall. We can use Speed Attack. Both those are valid. Honestly, Holucha is a really cool Pokemon with both a versatile and damaging attack. Or setup and damaging attack, so it's a very versatile Pokemon. We see them start Nidoran, so this is where like a Speed Attack is very much valid, especially with their hand being just pretty solid here. Yeah, so I'll probably go for Speed Attack, and they flip one tail, so nope, we're gonna go for that. We're gonna go for Windfall, right? Because they've clearly got some stuff set up, or we're just not gonna attach there. That's probably the play we're gonna make. We're gonna Sonia. We're gonna go for. Are we going for the P-Dove play again, and then we're just gonna lose? Maybe that's what we're gonna do. We prize the P-Dove. That's fun. Okay, you know what? I'm going for it. I'm going for the P-Dove play again, where I chirp turn one and then like die. Probably. That's probably how this is gonna go. They're gonna like do something, and I'm just gonna like lose all my guys and lose the game, right? But yeah, we can grab Tranquil and Pheasant, or we could grab double Tranquil. That's fine as well. So I'm actually gonna go for. So hopefully they don't KO me. Of course, then we just lose. They're not gonna KO us this turn, but they can KO us next turn. Maybe. Yeah, they can. It's a bit awkward. They need some pieces. And they chose not to go for that call for family. Makes sense. They're going to go for Bite, which is fine as well. And Kukui, which is okay, right? They're not grabbing the KO. This is like what I was worried about, though. They were very close there. Now they're hitting 30 next turn, which KOs are Tranquil, right? Which is bad. So I'll go for Dan. Now we're in a very bad spot. We'll go for Paper again. Hopefully this works. Then we're probably going to retreat into something. Oh, we lost that, all the good stuff. Glare Meowth, again, probably, Glare Meowth is pretty not good. But I'll retreat into Holucha, which has some survivability, and again, I said utility. We can evolve both these P-Doves, which is good. And then we can power up this Tranquil and hopefully get somewhere with it. I guess I should have played Glaring Me out there. That was technically the right play to thin my deck / hand if we ever want a Windfall or whatever, but it doesn't matter too much. And, of course, saving the bench space for Sonya makes some amount of sense as well. So we're going to see them go for some Ponytas because of Agility just being so strong as a defensive attack. Bite, though, they're just going to go for Bite. Kind of makes sense. They don't have too much going on here. We could Pokekid and then Windfall. I think I'll go for that. Grab me out of that on Pheasant. Energy on the active. So we're going to draw some more cards. And as I said, play the Glaring Meowth. It didn't matter in the end there at all. Now we're going to go for Windfall. And hopefully they don't KO us. Who knows at this point. We see Great Ball Dance. This hand's looking pretty all right. We're probably just going to research it away, send it, because, it's not that good, but we can get out of it with research. Research is just such a swingy card in Theme because most decks don't play a ton of copies of it. Now let's see how this is going here, though. Rapidash. Another Rapidash. Just don't have Nidoqueen, and it'll all be good. Well, not all be good, but they're just going to go for another Bite, so that's fine. We see another Probopass. Okay. We see the Unfazan. Let's go. Okay, so we're in this. Kind of. Not really, but we're kind of in it. Evolve that Probopass. And send this hand because it's not that good. Okay, but this is much better. So we have Zacian as well. We can go for a Daunt now. I like... Oh, no, but... So I'm thinking, what if they have like a Nidoqueen and they just chaos? If they have the Nidoqueen, they have a Nidoqueen. I'm going to say they don't have it. Go for Daunt. Just start putting on some pressure. If we die here, I'm done. I'm just done with Themed, right? If they just have the complete sauce, then I'll be just very sad. I see Nidoran evolve into Nidorina. Also, I just realized, does Nidoran have holes in its ears? No, those are just spots, I think, right? Cynthia, don't hit it. Don't hit it. Don't hit it. Please tell me you don't hit it. Farfetch'd? Wait, why do you play Farfetch'd? Okay, let's go. Let's go. We're not getting rolled over. Okay, I was super nervous there for a second. I'm going to Pokemon Catcher that Nidoran. If I can, we can. Or Nidorina. I keep saying the wrong Pokemon, which is unfortunate. But yeah, we can go for Daunt, grab a KO, do some damage. Just do some damage. They're going to give us the well played, I guess, because we flipped heads there. So, yeah, I'm a veteran Pokemon player, right? So I've learned all the tips and tricks from all the top players. You got to flip heads there. So that's what I went for. And I got the heads, of course. So now we can go for, if they flip tails, we can go for Air Slash. We'll see if they have mastered their arts as well. Otherwise, we can use Daunt. I don't actually know if... Oh, they failed. Okay. Actually, yeah, Daunt doesn't really, do anything here. But we do see P-Dove. We grabbed out of the prizes. We can grab a KO with Air Slash. So now we're in a good position. We could play Zacian. We don't have to. But yeah, grabbing the KO here is super important. I believe Daunt's effect will be stopped by Rapidash as well, unfortunately. But yeah, we can go for KO there. Now we're up 2 prizes. And more importantly, they don't have a very good board position. The prizes in the early game don't necessarily matter if there's an unequal board position. If both players have a really good board position, the prize face is all that matters. But yeah, they're going to go for a Copycat. It's a big Copycat, looking for that Nidoqueen. Luckily, it doesn't have any energy on it. We were able to take it out. They didn't have it either, so that's super good. They haven't had any Charmeleons. Maybe they're prized, but they're just not in a great spot. We could go for Air Slash, or we could go for Daunt, and the play is probably Air Slash. They don't have anything else set up beyond the last turn. So right now, we just want to push the prizes. Again, it could make a lot of sense to improve our board state, but it's certainly in an all-right spot, and it's not getting that much better. Our attackers aren't much better than these 2 on Pheasants, so we got to do as much work as we can with them. We can grab another KO next turn. Oh, how much HP does Nidoqueen have? I think it is 1. I don't know. It has a bunch, I know. But we can go with an Air Slash and hopefully another Air Slash and hopefully another Air Slash and win. Timer Ball. Yeah, you gotta... Okay, they do get the Nidoqueen out now, of course. And now we're a bit scared, right? We're a bit scared, but we should be able to do something about it. And hope that something is win. They're going to, of course, grab a Charmeleon to go for that Charizard. If they flip heads here, that's kind of bad. But we can just kind of hold back. But Professor Kukui, it's not ideal for us, but not the end of the world. I think they missed sequence there as well, but Searing Flame. Yeah, no, they're not going for agility, of course, because they couldn't do that. We are not burned out anymore. That's very good, very important. Oh, if we flip heads on Pokemon Catcher, we're not actually in like that. Was gonna say we're in like an amazing spot. That's not initially true. But yeah, I'm gonna go for an Air Slash here, right? I'm also gonna bench Zacian. That's good. We're gonna go for Air Slash. Take another KO. Now we're up 2-6. Looks super good for us. But yeah, Unpheasant can grab a KO, and Zacian can grab a KO. Maybe. No, that's not guaranteed, though. So we kind of need to just sit back and let those two do some work. Probably sacrifice Probopass and Meowth and Hawlucha. It doesn't really matter what we sacrifice, but they're going to go. The way we do lose this game, though, is if they go for Rapidash and stall us out, which will, of course, win the game. If they get enough heads, they have proven that they have not been the best coin flippers so far this game. So I'm not too worried about that, but it's possible. And as you see, they're going for that route, which makes sense. They didn't get it back that Nidoran because I guess they didn't prize the basic, which is good for them, I guess. Going for that Charmeleon. I guess they had Charizard in hand. I wasn't paying too much attention, not going to lie. But yeah, they're going to Charizard. They're going to grab the KO, but at a big cost of dealing damage to themselves. So we can go for Probopass. Probably, or actually, no, we send up the Galarian Meowth. We'll evolve into Galarian Berserker, I suppose. It doesn't matter too much, but we'll send this up. I don't know if this is quite right. As I said, it doesn't matter too much. We're going to go for that Unpheasant. Try to target some stuff down. Pokemon Catcher, we don't need that just yet, so we're going to pass. And they are, of course, going to grab a KO on their next turn. So we're looking for Metal Saucers. We have not played any so far. We are going to be down both our Pokemon Catchers, though, after research, which will most likely be our play here. But yeah, we're very close to winning this. But, of course, they are in a much... This is where, like, things get very sketchy, as their board state's much better. Okay. And also, this is where we should have possibly attached to Zacian. I think we'll be okay. I hope we'll be okay, at least. We can... I don't know. I don't exactly know what to do here. All I know is that we're kind of scared. They're going to copycat for a big hand as well. Shuffle draw 7 is pretty strong. Another Ponyta hitting the bench. Really, that doesn't do anything at this point, unless they want to go for some really crazy play. But I'm wondering if there's anything we'd want to target down. We'd rather take... Oh, they're going to retreat. Okay, so they are going to go for that Rapidash play. That is, of course, very scary for us. Please flip tails. They flip tails. Okay, that's very, very good for us. Now we can go, of course, with Unpheasant. Grab the KO here. No use for that Pokemon Catcher now. We have enough energy in deck still. I think. I really hope so. Oh, yeah, we must. We've got to have enough energy left in deck. I don't think we play another Probopass. I'll drop P-Dove, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much, as I said. But we see... Let's go. Double Metal Saucer. Okay, we can stick those energies on Zacian. Wish I've stuck him on Probopass. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. But yeah, we're going to stick him here. And then Air Slash for our second to last prize. Hopefully this means we can take out the win. Now they know exactly what we're doing. Of course, they knew that before. We see the switch. That's a very solid prize as well. We have Hop. We have more energies. We're down. Okay, they're going to say well played, but what exactly does that mean? I don't know if they're just complimenting our play there. We got, I guess, a little lucky with the double Metal Saucer, but they're in deck, and we're going to hit them at some point anyway. It didn't really matter too much. It's not like that just determines the outcome of the game either. Let's see, how many switch are they down, though? That's a big question. They're down 1 switch. No Tantalize. So they do have access to switching. Yeah, that's pretty notable. So Charizard, of course. Yeah, they're setting up the Rapidash. You can't go in with Zacian just yet, of course. Because we're not grabbing the KO. We need to grab a KO here. So they're setting up their Rapidash. The game might just come down to coin flips, unfortunately. But if it does... that will be the true test of skill here. Also, there's sticking energy on the Charizard. I don't know why exactly. It's not necessarily a horrible play. It's certainly not necessarily an amazing play either. Puts them in a bit of a weird position, but that's fine. It thins their deck, does some various things. What are they doing? Okay, whatever. So we can go for Probo Pass. I think we send up to quote unquote stall, meaning they won't go for their Rapidash play. Of course, that Rapidash play is very risky. Anyways, we can go for a Hop. We're low on cards in deck, and that's fine. Of course, there's that Hail Mary Glaring Berserker play, which is pretty absurd. I can't really ever see us doing that play, but it's a play. Gravitation Drop, how much does that do? That will do not really enough to do anything meaningful. We're going to stick the energy on Zacian. It's not just completely safe. Very safe play. And we're going to... we could drop Halucha. Okay, why are they being like this? Let's see. We should be all right. If we get lucky on Rapidash, or if they are able to attack with Nidoqueen, though, things will get very sketchy. But probably not. They're going for, of course, that Queen's Call play. Trying to set up more stuff. I think they have another Nidoqueen in deck. Yeah, they're going to get another Rapidash. They have all their stuff. They've saved their Brock Squits for the very end. It doesn't matter at this point, other than the fact that theoretically Nidoqueen can do more damage. Also, they're very low on cards in deck. They could theoretically deck out. I'm assuming they're not going to do that. I didn't go for attacking pressure there because that just doesn't really make a ton of sense. So they're going to use their ability. So I'm guessing they're using it to retreat here. They really have to. Do they have 2 energy left in deck? They do, but they only have 5 cards left now. They do have a Tantalizer left. They're going to retreat into that Rapidash. Going all in on this Rapidash play. Okay. Let's see. They don't even grab the KO, as I said, as well. They flip heads, though. They flip heads. I don't think it makes a ton of sense. So I'm going to preserve cards in my deck just in case so we don't deck out. And I'll stick them on Glaring Meowth here. We could actually switch into Halucha and maintain our Probo Pass, which is an alright play. I guess that's the right play here. And we can also Windfall, theoretically. I don't really think that makes a ton of sense, but we're going to attach to Probo Pass here. We can win this now. We can definitely win this, but we need them to flip a Tails. We can manually retreat then. They're pairing up their Nidoqueen. That's where things can go bad. They've just had so much time because we haven't had the ability to put on pressure because we haven't had enough attackers. So I'm very nervous, but we can win this. Please let us not lose to luck. We've lost because of misplays all day. I'm going to see. Please. Let's go. They're hitting us with all the emotes. And we are able to win with Zacian, the GOAT. Nah, Zacian's kind of bad, but and there go our energies. But we do win. We beat the impossible matchup. Actually, the matchup's pretty bad. I'm finally able to win that, though. So let's go. I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts on theme, though. I have some unique themed ideas, including a random deck idea where pretty much it gives 2 players random decks to play against each other. This is pretty late in the video. I wonder if any of you have listened this far. If you have, I'd really be interested in seeing that down below if you could comment that. Also, if you enjoyed, of course, I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe, all that good stuff. But a deck, a video idea where it generates random decks out of a pool of cards that are usable decks, right? I've made a program that does that for theme deck cards, and it's actually kind of interesting. So if you're interested in seeing that, or if you're interested in being in that even, you can comment that down below. I'd be happy to do that, but I hope you enjoy this video. As always, I'm excited to see you in the next one.